I thought the things that stood out to me, one, are the amount of tackling that we have done in this camp is really paying off. I thought defensively there was a ton of great open field tackles that happened, especially in the secondary. And then I thought defensively we had given up a bunch of explosive plays in the first scrimmage, and that was limited a lot more today. From a quarterback standpoint, the one thing that I did see that jumped out to me that was better was their sense of urgency to either get rid of the ball or break contain and be able to keep the ball alive. They were taking sacks in the first scrimmage, and the time clock I thought sped up today. Wish there was more explosive plays, but I thought defensively they did a nice job. From a young person standpoint, I thought Devin Williams really took a stride forward, made a couple big plays for us down the stretch there. It was good to see him do that, and I was proud. It was really neat to have Michael Brown back out here, get through a camp, look healthy, and today was excellent, especially on some long field goals. So that was nice to see. From an injury standpoint, we had Caleb Tremblay. We pulled late with an ankle, just think it's slight. Levi, we pulled with just Levi Jones with a hand. We'll see where that's at. Chuma, we pulled with a nagging hip. I don't think it's anything serious. And everybody else is status quo. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have.
Is Amon-Ra the leader to be the punt returner right now?
I think right now, as you saw out there today, Ajane went out there first, and then Amon-Ra second, and then Tyler Vaughn's third. All three of them have looked as solid catching the ball. I think Amon-Ra has been doing a really good job in camp. That's why he's been thrust into the mold as a young person. That doesn't happen very often, but he is a guy that is one, we have trust in catching the ball, but two, is doing things after that catch, which is nice to see, and he's made good decisions. So he's definitely in the mix. We got 1 week to go prior to the game, but he's in the mix with those other two right now.
Levi Jones has been kind of in and out of practice throughout camp, but what did you think about him today?
Yeah, I was really excited for him. He got 2 good series and played really well. He was one of the guys in the open field. He makes 2 tackles on Stephen Carr, which is a very hard thing to do out in open space. It was extremely impressive. He's been battling a little bit of an ankle, but really wanted to go today. Gosh, he showed it. I mean, he looked healthy and he looked explosive, and to be able to have him and John Houston in that Will Backer position, man, it makes you feel good because you got 2 explosive athletes that can make plays and contribute. And I thought Levi played really well. I'll check the tape, but it felt like he played fast today.
When you play a lot of younger guys, do you just want to see more reps, or is there something specific that you want to see for them as well?
No, I've seen enough reps on Marvell Tell. I know who he is, but I need to see Bubba and Isaiah Polomao and Talanoa Fanga and CJ Pollard. I needed to see exactly where they're at in a real-life scrimmage. So, we backed off some of the older veterans that are seniors that have been 3-year players, and we really needed to see, okay, who can realistically contribute, in that opening game. And that's what part of this scrimmage was about, is to thrust those younger players to the forefront that are first, second, third-year players, that this is their opportunity to show if they can contribute.
There weren't as many explosive plays quarterback-wise in the scrimmage compared to the last one.
Yeah.
Is that just them seeing stuff shorter, or was it by design?
No, I really thought defensively, we made a point of emphasis. You saw that first scrimmage. That was something that really stood out. Matter of fact, Dan made a great stat the other day on it, and that's something that I think defensively they took to heart, and they did a nice job today. Like I told offensively, some days you're going to have to grind it out. Some days just the defense is playing really well and the run game's got to go and you got to move the sticks, and all of a sudden sometimes it's going to be 3-4 play drives, and some of them you're going to need 14 play drives, and you got to find ways to move the sticks. But I thought defensively they made a nice jump from game 1 to game 2, limiting those explosive plays.
What is the next step for Devin Williams?
For me, is the playbook. I know he made a mistake or two out here today because I could hear T over the headset fussing. But that's the beauty of being out here, making the coaches get off and be up in the stands, and just to see the reality of where they're at. And you could see his natural play ability. You know, he made 2 big plays in this scrimmage. Now it's just not having to yell, hey, get lined up here or do this and that. You know, once the playbook hits and the light clicks on, you know, I remember some guys it happens fast. You know, Woody it happened game 1. You know, Nelly it happened, I think the Oregon game, if I remember. I think that was game 5, and then the light just clicked on and he went from there. You know, it always happens different for each and every guy.
Is it going to take the mock game to make you decide at this point with the quarterbacking situation?
I don't know. You know, I'd like to go in and evaluate this tape and see where it's at. I didn't think that, you know, I thought every quarterback made some good decisions, not forcing the ball, but breaking contain. But I'd like to go in there and evaluate the tape and see where we're at. My gut tells me it's going to take 1 more week, but I'm going to eval the tape.
What about Jack Sears? What did you think of him today?
I thought a couple times of being able to break contain. You saw him make a couple first downs with his feet. That's what I wasn't feeling in the first preseason game, was they were just staying stagnant in the pocket. They weren't releasing the ball or using the weapons that they have. Even I'd tell you what, even JT, who still has great athleticism, I thought did a nice job of breaking contain too. All 3 of them today didn't take sacks. They didn't stay back there and just hold on to the ball. That clock went off and they said, I got to get out. I either got to throw this ball or I got to break contain and keep this play alive. And that's going to help me sleep better tonight. There were probably some mistakes and we probably missed a couple reads, but from them playing real live football, it felt more alive today.
Is JT showing you more than maybe you expected in the ability to break contain and
yeah.
throw on the run?
Well, he did it the other day, Dan, too. I thought in the 2-minute drill. You didn't see him break contain, but being able to step up in the pocket and being able to keep the ball alive, you know, he reminds me a lot of where Cody was, in my opinion. Cody was a tremendous pocket presence quarterback. And so is JT. He can feel pressure and don't fall asleep on his athleticism because he can move. The other 2 do a good job in the run game, but gosh dang, I tell you what, JT is an adequate athlete. There's no question.
Let's do one more. I know you wanted to include the 2-minute drill, like you said yesterday. Is there any reason why you cut it out?
Yeah, we ran out of offensive tackle bodies. I was running low, and it wasn't going to be a good simulation. And so sometimes you have to adjust on the run as a head coach and don't get stubborn. But we lost a couple offensive tackles down the stretch there. I didn't think it was going to be able to get an honest evaluation. So we'll be able to do it this week coming up.